It's the bag work about of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? Y'all tuning in to Apartment 5B podcast hosted by your man Kill. Now, before we even go into anything, you know, Cass may be thinking Apartment 5B, the Corner Radio. Long story short, I never really been a fan of the name Corner Radio. And then for Cass, who really don't know, about 2 weeks ago, my mother-in-law passed away. So it was a real hard blow to the family. When I was coming off the elevator in her apartment building, I just seen Apartment 5B. And I was like, yo, I think that's a dope name, you know, and I wanted to do something to kind of dedicate to her and just her memory and everything she meant to all of us. So that's going to be the new name of the podcast, but it ain't going to change nothing. Same dope people, same dope content. In fact, I'm excited because I want to bring some sports. I want to bring some love and life into the podcast. So we ain't just going to be talking about hip hop. We're just going to be talking about grown issues and just everything that we love up here. So again, the name change ain't going to do nothing but make the show that much doper. But yo, y'all see we got a packed house up in here tonight. We're going to run down real quick and then we're going to jump right into it, paying respect and saluting one of the dopest, illest MCs to me, whoever he was in the game, the boy Prodigy out of Queensbridge. So we're going to get into that. But first, let me shout out everybody. What's going on, Nick?
I'm ready to talk about my man here, Prodigy. That's what's up.
No doubt. I got my man Bezo. What's good, B?
Peace. You know I got love for Peep, man. One of my favorites right there.
No doubt. I got my man Gnu. What's good, fam?
Peace. What's good, everybody? You know, I'm wearing my Peep, my polo shirt, which, you know, in memory of Pete, though. You know what I mean? With the wings on it. You know what I mean?
All right, no doubt. I got my man DJ Rack one. What's good, Rack?
That mute button, Rack.
You got your mute button on, bro. You got your mute button on.
Yeah, like Gnu. I got a rep today, so you know.
And why?
Next. All right, no doubt. So, like Nick already said, today we're gonna be chatting about all things Prodigy, saluting to me. He's one of the illest, you know, dudes to ever pick up a mic, man. We're gonna be chopping it up about the first time we knew P was a problem, some of our favorite verses, some slept on P verses, and basically in your top 25 list of MCs, does P fall in that? And if so, where? So yo, Bezo, I know you are one of the biggest Mobb Deep fans I know. I remember coming over your crib with the Murder Music CD, and you and Shad and chopping it up like it was yesterday. So you tell me, fam, when was the first time, not that you heard P, because it may have been on the peer pressure or hit it from the back, but when was the first time you heard him and you was like, damn, this nigga a problem?
I mean, honestly, it really was Shook One's part two. That first verse, man, when he said the line, rock you in the face, stab your brain with your nose bone, you all alone in the streets, cousin. Just from that moment, because in the Vernon, we used to call each other cousin. Like, you know, what up? Instead of somebody's like, what up? We'd be like, what up, cousin? When P said that, after he said the rock you in the face, you know, stab your brain with your nose bone, it was just like, damn. And then when you listen to his flow, man, it's like his wordplay, the way he put words together was crazy. We'll get into that later. But what's underestimated with P was his flow. If you listen to Shook Ones and how the way P rides the beat is bananas, man. So it really was that first verse from the beginning of that joint. From then on, I was like, damn, I got to check for this cat. Cause one thing you got to keep in mind going back to that era is like, in terms of dope MCs and where hip hop was at or whatever, he kind of came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? We was waiting on Nas because Nas had made noise, the underground scene and all that. And even Jay-Z was on the underground scene. If you was in New York and you was going to them spots, you heard about some of these niggas, you know, Bobito on them show and Future Flavors and shit like that. Blood DNA, all these different shows in New York on the radio, you would hear these different MCs. So we kind of knew from New York and the underground scene, niggas that was going to be start blowing, but he came out of nowhere. Nobody was expecting that. Even if you heard the peer pressure shit, you wasn't expecting that. So it was really from that moment, he had my ear like, yo, this cat is crazy. It was so vivid, man. From that moment, and he kept that going for a good 3-4 albums hard, man. So it was from the very beginning of Shook Ones, man. First verse.
All right, no doubt. What about you, Nick? You down there in the South, so we always going back and forth about what the South played and what they didn't play. So, you know, when was it that you knew P was a problem?
For me, when I thought P was a problem, like he was dope as hell on the Infamous, but it was Hell on Earth to me is like when he just, that's where he was like top 5 in that era to me. And it was from the, and just to think that Hell on Earth was a single too. And when he was like, speakers leaking out sound and niggas leaking on the ground with like lines like that. Like both of his verses on Hell on Earth was just fire, man. Like that's when he was like, this dude is a problem. And that's when I was like, I can't wait for this Hell on Earth album to drop so I can just rock with it for months.
All right, so for you, okay, it was that. All right, what about you, bro?
Don't get it twisted. He was dope as hell on the Infamous. I'm just saying, Hell on Earth was like, all right, this cat, he just more than a dope rapper. This nigga is a problem.
All right, no doubt. What about you, Rap?
I Shot Your remix, man. I'm with Bezo. You know, you knew about Prodigy if you was listening to like, you know, the first album and the joints they had out, but it came out of nowhere. So you kind of wait and see to make sure that it is what it is. Now, for those that don't know, on the verse, man, he's talking to somebody, and we're gonna get into that later. But it just, for him to even do that and stand on it, I said this cat is official. And I was like, Nick, I was waiting on the next album with a knife and a fork, like, okay, it's about to go down. It's about to go down because this cat doesn't give any fucks. He really don't care.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, that I Shot Your verse in the middle of all that, I said, okay, yeah, this dude or these guys are here, and they're gonna make it known that they're here. And you gonna have to either go through them, around them, on top of them, whatever you want to call it. You know.
All right, no doubt. And what about you, Gnu? When you knew P was a problem?
For me, I really didn't listen to Juvenile Hell and all that when it first came out, but Shook Ones, the first Shook Ones, not the Extra P remix, but the part one.
Part one.
That's not when I knew it was the problem, but that's when I first really started listening to Mobb Deep, and then they had the Shook Ones part 2 with the you know, of course, beat, but. I thought P was a problem when they came out with that Infamous album, man. That first track, man, and he spit that line when he was like, "It's the P, he double, push the Lex bubble in the winter." You know what I'm saying? That the way he flowed on that intro track right there, I was like, "Yo, son gonna be pop." Word up. From there on out, he just continued to be consistent with hard shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I peeped it from like probably the first Shook Ones, which nobody even remembers no more because part 2 came along and you know, but the first Shook Ones, because to me
that one was dark as hell.
Yeah, you know, because
the part 1 was dope.
Yeah, but to me it was night and day from
didn't Q-Tip first?
What happened?
No, I said, didn't Q-Tip produce that first beat for Shook?
Nah. That was all Havoc. Yeah, it was that was all. But yeah, because it was nice.
It was you at EA.
What happened?
When part 1 came out, was you at the radio station?
Yeah.
When part 1 came out?
Yeah.
I think that was the first time I heard it. I think me and Shy came at the radio station, and I think it must have been you who played it for cats, and I was like, oh shit. And I heard that after I heard Shook Ones part 2.
Yeah, and Shook Ones part 1 because that joint was to me night and day from Hit It From the Back.
Yes.
Like another level. It was almost like the same time the Roots came through the station and played he played Jay's God, what was Jay's first single?
Yeah.
Jay was Jay.
It was
In my lifetime.
Yeah, in my lifetime, I can't get with that one of those joints.
Yeah, not that I can't get with that diggity stuff. I'm talking about that real J, that in my lifetime. Because it was like, damn, like, yo, who this the same?
Totally different person.
Yeah, like who this? So it was the same thing when I heard Shook One's Part 1, and like you said, it was so dark and grimy, and it was like, damn, like these them little niggas, you know, in the party, you know, whatever, and it was like, damn, you know, so that's the first time like that I heard P, and I was like, damn, this nigga nice, you know what I'm saying? It goes back to what Beezer was saying. They kind of came out of nowhere because you wasn't from hearing Peer Pressure and Hit It From the Back. They kind of was on that the youngsters, you know, the little kid AB. I don't want to say ABC, but you know, I was looking at them as like little kid dudes, like the youngsters and illegal and all them like that. But then when that joint came out, the first Shook Ones, and if cats ain't never heard it, please go listen to that.
Dope as hell.
That's why it's hard. Most people don't even realize but please go listen to that first one. So that should be your first real intro to that part of Mobb Deep. Now tell me this, I know it's hard, but if you were looking at your top 3 Peep verses, what would they be? I understand it's hard, he got a million, everything, but when you heard Peep passed away, I mean, everybody posting on IG, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere, everybody banging everything. What do you, if I'm coming to you like, yo, I ain't never heard P a day in my life, what are the 3 songs you gonna point me in the direction of? Bingo, what you got for that?
And that was hard, brother, to find that shit. I mean, I looked at it every which way I could possibly find, like what's got the illest flow, the illest verbiage, it was difficult, man, for real, to narrow it down to 3. But the first one, I think, to me, is just the obvious, is Keep It Thorough. You know what I mean? Because the way that shit starts, you know, we had done a show a while back, it was a topic about like the illest intro to a song, like for a Cat's appearance. And somebody, I don't know, it might have been me, brought up a Scenario Part 2, the remix. With, what's his name? When Homeboy started, the way that song started, and then the way AZ started with Nas, like, that was just like, wow, ill introduction. So if you never heard nothing from P, and the first shit you ever heard is Keep It Thorough, you're going to get a real good look into how ill this nigga is from the first word of that first verse with him. Yeah. So that was like the first one, but it's too many. It's too many, man. For real, because like, I just want to say one thing though, like what you just talking about with them is like the whole first album flopping. I was watching a documentary the other day leading up to this about them. I never even heard about this shit. Came out like, I think, 2009. And they talked about that. And Hav said some real shit. He was like when they did the Juvenile Hell, they were kids. They were 16-year-old kids in high school. And it was like a label. He's like, they had all these people in their ear. Label gave them, you know, agents and these people, money people, blah, blah. Everybody in these kids' ear telling them what to do, how to do it. So they was struggling with like trying to find their sound. So they was making songs that the label wanted because they didn't know how to promote hip hop. So they was making Hit It From the Back, party type shit. So he was like, they didn't know what to do. So they just said like, yo, let's just do us. Let's just do some Queensbridge shit. We can't listen to nobody. We gonna do our own shit the way we want to do it. And we took that shit. I think it was Survival of the Fittest and Shook One's Part 2. They took that through Matty C. And Matty C was like, oh shit, okay. And he's like, took that to Steve Rifkin or whatever. Him and the other cats scot free. And he said they just gave me money when they heard them singles and just said, go, do whatever you want to do in the studio, finish the album. Just go do it. And just total carte blanche to do whatever they wanted. And when P had the interlude after Survival of the Fittest, I remember me and Scott sitting in the crib where Cass was like breaking that shit down. How he said he was talking mad shit, which, as you said, would kind of give us a window into who this nigga Pete was going to be. He wasn't going to back down from nobody lyrically for the rest of his career. But if you listen to him, he says that you might get beat down. Means you might not either. You know what I'm saying? But there's a good chance you're going to get fucked up. But he didn't put out like, you know, I know you're looking at us like, you're the mom, you're going to sing when we sing. But if he let you know, like, it was just letting you know he got heart. You know what I'm saying? He ain't saying I'm the baddest, this nigga. I'm letting you know I got heart. You know what I'm saying? And that shit became the montage for their career. That was P's whole shit. It didn't matter who it was, from Pop to Jay to whoever. If he had beef with you lyrically, he said he put it out there. He didn't run for nobody. You gotta give him credit for that. Win or lose, you gotta give him credit for that.
All right, no doubt. You got any other two verses? So you said
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I thought we were doing one at a time. See, I had Illustrious, the first verse of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna sit here and spit the whole verse, man. You gotta go check it. My other point was Ashes to Ashes. Yo, the way that nigga, the way he starts it, to the fact that he'll take that right back at you, but he keep putting the pause in the shit, and then like the last verse, yo, he would do little shit like, instead of saying you're gonna lose your life, you get your life lost. And it's like shit like that. That's the unique shit about P, where he would take, just saying a regular, and he would twist the words around and make it a whole different way of saying the same shit. And it would just sound crazy, man. Crazy. It's like, there's more shit I could have went through, but I try to narrow it down to those three. That's the best I could.
All right, no doubt. What you got for that, Nick?
I'm gonna roll with, of course, the Quiet Storm. That's like an anthem. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go wrong with that joint. Something just it got to me because Nas my favorite rapper of all time, but he don't got a joint. I was trying to think hard, like, Nas got a Quiet Storm in the chamber. He don't. God damn, P, man. So yeah, the Still Shining joint, the We Rob Land Like White Man,
yeah,
whole shit while shaking your hand. I was like, man, like that joint, and then the Genesis, the introduction on the HNIC album, the Genesis joint. That's my third one.
yeah.
All right. What you got for your top three? Rack, what you got for your top three?
All right, so top three, I got You Can Never Feel My Pain from the HNIC album. If you ain't heard that, slap yourself and then go listen to it. Quiet Storm, not the remix, but the second verse. I think he's got 3 or 4 verses. The second verse. And then Pearly Gates off of the Blood Money album. This dude basically told Jesus to go suck his dick. And I don't mean that. And I don't mean that no negative way. But anybody, that's pretty much. A lot of them dudes get it out. Yeah, they pull that shit out. Yeah, the album got pushed back a month or so because of it. Because he wasn't trying to edit nothing out. And they was just like, look, man, you got to change this verse. We can't release this like this. I don't mean nothing by it for whoever's watching this and got a religious bone in their body, but I'm just saying, man, the guy stood on top of his soapbox, man. Whatever he wanted to say, he said it, and that's the thing I'm a miss about hearing, fresh verses at least, that the cat had the balls to stand on top of what he felt, man. So those are my 3 though.
All right, no doubt. Gnu, what you got on for your top 3 P verses?
Top 3, man. Like everybody said, it was very hard to choose, man, because there's so many, man. But I would say I like the verse that he spit on Murder Music, Niggas I Fuck With Raekwon. That joint, he was like, Soldier Boy, stay on your toes, Q's. I mean, like these, I ain't gonna spit the whole joint, but that's not my number 1, but that's one of my top verses. But on HNIC with Nori, What You Rap Done. That I like the way he spit on that. And another one I was gonna say was my man already said the joint Genesis on HNIC album, the intro song on HNIC album Genesis, the way he spit, wow, it was like heavenly, you know what I mean? It was like a verse from the gods or something, like, you know what I mean? So yeah.
All right.
Those are 3 standouts for me. But like I said, it's so many or something. You know what I mean? So many I couldn't narrow it down, man. But yeah.
All right. And for me, I got the first joint, like Nick said, I got Still Shining. And the thing that I loved about P is that, he not only has quotables, because I think the source really got us in the quotables and those verses, but he's just got standout lines that just poke out constantly throughout his quotables. And the standout line that always got me was still shining was put holes through your clothes like Jamaican clothes. So like, like that. Like, and if you understood what that, so I mean, he always had them standout lines, and y'all know me, I always wanted to be an MC, so I gotta kick the rhyme. So
yeah,
I gotta sit here and read it because my brain ain't the same. But I mean, and the thing is with P, it still shining to me is almost like he could add a whole song. I mean, I know Happy got the second verse, but I mean, the first and the third verse, I mean, to all my niggas uncivilized, we cooked the shade, moved the weight across the tri-state, them joke niggas bring the shook up out the crook type, special deliver, sending shots through your act. Now, the funny thing about that always got me, that was my favorite Acura back in the 90s. So that always got me. When you like, yo, I'm sending special shots through your act, Vigor. My infamous mob get on their job. The truth gets revealed like with W. Farr. Some shiesty New York niggas. Thirsty for cheddar. You shine and you get your jewels taken with your hill sweater. Keeping these rap fans like crack fiends until we re-up and put more infamous up on the rap scene. Mix the coke and the rhymes with beats like baking sodas. Albums is G-Packs. Selling cross the waters. Like, yo, man, come on, man. My mob pick is like Don Briggs. Satisfaction, guaranteed
real shit.
Rapper North, we meet you at the top, kid, and once we all on top, and it don't stop, and I'm headstrong and peace with myself like Islam. You stupid, 100 niggas form around me like force fields. Like, yo, man, come on, bro. This dude just said like a force field, man. Like, yo, come on, you gotta be kidding, man. And then my second joint gotta be Quiet Storm, man. Like Nick said, that's an anthem, but like, yo, when you really thinking about Quiet Storm, man, I mean, this could possibly be my favorite P joint. And we talking Bezo, like you said, about the way you set off rhymes. I put my lifetime in between the paper's lines. Like that alone right there, when you really think of that, like, yo, the lines in the paper, like, yo, I'm giving you my life every time I write. You know what I'm saying? Like, I put my lifetime in between the paper's line. I'm a Quiet Storm nigga who fight Ron P. You heard of him, but I ain't concerned with them, nigga. I pop more guns than you holding them. Make my right while the sun out, scold your men, unload 10. And boy, daylight,
get right. Fuck your life.
Dirt bike. Try to stop
on the 98 dirt bike.
Stop your blood, stop flowing. Take affirmative action. Send the ass if he asking. Now here come the Max. Yo, like, yo, the stuff that you do.
Speak the gun language.
Yo, and then my favorite line out, it has got to be when that nigga say on the second verse, yo, inch cables, drinking white. My chain, bang glass tape.
It's so vivid, son.
Yo,
because if you ever had a big peep like that, I knew a nigga that did. That's the shit that would happen for real. Nigga get up, down.
Yeah,
banging over shit. That shit was for real, man. That's very vivid, P.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that line, man? I remember around that time you used to see AI out and about through Philly. And you ain't see him with no 40-inch cable until that nigga started hanging around Mobb Deep at the time. That nigga had the longest chain in the world. And it was because of that.
Yeah, I started posting like little lines and shit. I mean, yo, the shit this nigga would say, man. First of all, when he said, build shit for the kids, the little duns. That's like just to throw that in there out of nowhere. It's just like, I remember Roots was like, yo, son, he said the little dun, son. It's like little shit like that, it just stick with you.
It stick with you.
But this shit, this nigga said, man. Y'all could do the math for what song came from, you remember this shit. But this nigga said, fuck rhymes, I write prescriptions for your disease, generic raps, just not potent like peas. I believe that's Quiet Storm.
Yeah.
And then when he told me,
it is Quiet Storm.
To make my freedom. You know what I mean? It's like, you knew what he was saying when he said that. Don't make me have to risk my freedom, my nigga, please. But this nigga said, give respect and love all across the board. We've been adored for keeping it raw, nothing less or more. We score every time for sure. The wordplay, man, and the way it just came together and shit. It's crazy. And this nigga said, our literature stands colossal compared to y'all's. Way ahead of your time. You're struggling to keep up. Your style's limited. Your rap's primitive. Ahead with that bullshit you kick, done. I mean, that sounds like a nigga talking to a cat. You're not even rhyming. He's just talking to some nigga, sunning the cat real quick. Then one of my favorite joints, and I'll get to this later.
Yeah.
Off what song it is. I think it's what song is it?
True.
Get Dealt With. Where this nigga says, my crew in the front got a lock, my live niggas in the back got the gas blowing out to get back. Deal with them tough looks and eye contact, staring all up in your corner, yeah, your corner, your lap. And I don't keep going and shit, but shit like that.
That's my joint right there.
Corny, yeah, your corner, your lap. Come on, man. You been saying shit like that, B.
They get dealt with. Yes.
Yo, I think this is Hell on Earth too. The saga begins, beginning war. First blood.
Yeah, that was on Hell on Earth.
Yeah, my course, tap all jaws, lay down laws, from table jaws, from the jokes, rusted doors. Become the deeds, time to make breeze and guns toss. In full force, my team will go at your main source. That's so fucking vivid, man. Make breeze and guns toss. Come on, man. Just shit like that, man. It's like, you could just do that all, we could do this whole shit, this whole podcast could be that shit. Word up, because the nigga was crazy with it, man. Crazy. And what you said about Nas, I agree, man. Nas is one of my favorites too, but when I look back on his catalog and I'm trying to find a quiet storm, I'm trying to find that ill, just quotable line that just separates Nas from everybody else, I gotta search and find, I gotta seek, I gotta look hard for that shit, but I don't have to look that hard for Pete, man. There's so many who just starts coming on top of the head, man.
The consistency was there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, let me get I got my third joint was, of course, like Rex said, the I Shot You joint. You know what I'm saying? The verse he did on that. I know Rex want to get a little bit into that. You know what I'm saying? But let me pull this joint out. The I Shot You joint. I gotta say with many men, it's time to begin again. Forget what you already know. You hear me, friend? Illuminati want my mind, soul, and my body. Secret society trying to keep their eye on me. And to be honest with you, I can't remember if that's the first time I started hearing the Illuminati stuff, but I could definitely say that P was one of the first people who really would start talking that Illuminati stuff. You know what I'm saying? Make my moves strategically, the G-O-D. It's sort of similar, iller than a chess player. I use my thinking. Yo, man. It's stupid. But, you know, Rec, why don't you get on with that joint?
All right, so the story behind the verse, man, I don't know if the guys that watch the podcast remember, there was some stuff that Keith Murray had said about, you know, some shit that Mobb Deep was doing or whatever, and Mobb caught it. So when he had the chance, he mentioned it, and he mentioned it in the verse. So let me pull the verse up real quick, because he's talking to Keith Murray and Def Squad. There's a serious beef between them.
That's Def.
Yeah, you obviously it's there, but people didn't catch it. So he tells you, he says, while you wonder what we saying on records is real, yeah, you motherfucking right, kid. You know the deal. My mob is infamous, just like the fucking title read. You get backslapped so hard, make your nose bleed. Some deaf kids feeling guilty about the space shit. The truth hurts, baby girl, so face it. He calling him pretty much a girl and telling him, yeah, we're gonna fuck you up when we see you. It's on record. Them cats had a couple little tussles here and there. And from what I've seen so far, or what I read recently, I don't think that beef was ever really settled. It got put out a little bit, but Keith Murray had said some shit a few years back, and P went back and said some more shit. So it never really got settled. And the thing that made me just be like, wow, Keith Murray's on the fucking song, and LL has been cool with EPMD since fucking day one.
Well,
so
right,
verse.
Exactly. So to me, I was just like, you know what? He didn't care regardless of what happened, where he was put on the song. That's the verse he was coming with. It didn't matter whose song it was. It's not that he didn't have no respect for LL, but he was just like, look, these niggas dissing me. I'm about to diss these niggas on your shit, and I know you cool with these cats. You know, so it's just stuff like that, man. When you hear certain stories about P and how you might hear like stories about how this cat was doing this, doing that, but the one thing you'll never not hear is that this cat is backing down. You know, Bezo said it earlier, man. This dude never backed down from no battle, from no man. And the thing is, I'm 6'5". Yo, these cats were 5'5", soaking wet, and they did not fear anybody. You know, that tells you right there, stature got nothing to do with it, man. It's about your ticker. And them dudes was 5'5", all heart. And they rolled 150 deep everywhere they went.
This is what I say, like Beagle said. Lyrically, they never back down.
No.
That's just right there. Lyrically, they
there
never
you go. There you go.
Back down. And my last joint, this could be a slept on joint because I know Beagle, I know you hate it was written. I don't mind the album, but one of my favorite P joints is on the joint Live Nigga Rap. You know what I'm saying? The way that nigga starts off with Yo NYC, you and I verse seriously, Havoc and P, Queens niggas so senior, monopolize, strategize war, exercise, mega. Just got word back from Noriega. The old cassette taper, the guy with the guy you now pulling the caper. Run up the spot, the massive duct taper. Pig tied the motherfucking wrist to their ankles. Crime shit my niggas into. Peep the issue situations like this, we sticking him too. JFK on our way to LA. Got linked with big cats down in Santa Barbara. My crew do it the mob way every day. Crime pay, you want a gun play, drill me, niggas kill me, grilling me. You want to peep, you want a low peep the 9 milli. That one dress, you know it's really like, yo, this dude was just
stop, son. He just kept going with that shit.
And it was like, yo, back in the day, I used to be like, yo, P is just like that wild pit bull in a dog fight. And you just off the leash. And just let that nigga just run rampant. Like, yo, when you really think about it, was written, Nas is looked at as one of the dopest MCs in the game, and P just will jump on your track, go first, and just put in that work.
Kill it.
You know what I mean? Like, he was like the Chris and Snoop of hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, just put in that work whenever you need that work done. But that's that joint. Now, here's the thing, because a lot of cats out there, they listen to hip hop, they not hip hop heads. So I'm on Twitter, I'm seeing everybody. They got the Quiet Storm, they got the Shook One, Survival of the Fittest, they got all the singles. But there's some slept on P verses out there. You know what I'm saying? That the people who just know the singles don't really know about. So give me some of y'all slept on P verses. That's not the singles, that's not the videos, but some stuff that you kind of got to dig in the crates for. And to be honest, y'all already been doing that with some IC albums and stuff like that most cats ain't posting. But Nick, give me some of your slept on P verses.
Okay, slept on. We kind of clown this cat all the time. Cormega, he had the Killer's theme joint.
Yeah.
P verse. Like the first thing you can say is part the crowd like the Red Sea. I was like, yo, this nigga here. It's like, hey, yo, peace to our way of life. Hats off to all the tribe. Let's toast to fully autos and foot-long knives. Especially for stacks and greenbacks. My outfitter performed some blow-off steam raps. Like, he bodied that verse. Like, after he did, they should have just let him have the whole song. It should have just been a mob joint. Are we doing 3 slept on joints?
Yeah, you could go on and do your 3.
So another one, this is from a soundtrack. I don't mess with Almighty RSO, but the War Zone. That verse that he kicked on there, classic. So that's number 2. And then another, well, Shook One's Part 1, that's a slept on verse because a lot of people don't even know it exists. So that's a tight one. But the Thun and Kiko joint from the Cormega joint, where it's like, use a notebook crook with loose leaf beat, a backseat criminal that passed the heat, to somebody that blast the heat. On the pad, what happened in the street? The nigga said a villain on vinyl, an analog outlaw. I was like, I know they was like going at 9. I don't think P was going at 9, so I know Cormega was. What P was just talking about, he was getting at him. Those are my 3 verses.
All right, no doubt. B, what's your 3 slept on P verses?
It was hard, man. I had to go with Soul Survivor, the P Rock joint. That verse, this is me, P, no doubt. Segregate those fake phones. Come on, I mean, that whole beginning of the verse was crazy, man. He always made a point of letting you know what's garbage and what's not, and like, I'm over here, they over there. then, like I already said before, Get Dealt With, the first and last verse off of that shit is just bananas, man. You got to listen to the beginning and Get Dealt With, because he's talking, the very first lines, talking like they jumping some cat. And he's telling each nigga like, yo, all God, he stomp him out. Yo, twin, pick this nigga up. Let me put a hole in his face so big it almost took his whole face off. For him, like, I mean, he said face off like 3 times in a row. But it made sense. I mean, it fit perfect.
Right.
So we formed like niggas in the yard up north. You know what I mean? And then one of my favorite shits, man, is the realest, the G-Rap.
G-Rap. That's my favorite G-Rap verse.
G-Rap killed it too. You know, I gotta give love for one of my all-time favorite niggas too. G-Rap killed it when he said the bullets ain't racial, kid. They only hit you. You know what I mean? It's like rap is killed too. But P, come on, man. I'm not even gonna quote the lines. If you don't know it, go find out, man. But I mean, it's the realest. You know what I mean? Phil's the realest with the verbiage, man. Yeah. I got some others, but I'll stick to those 3 for now.
All right, no doubt. Good news. What you got for your slept on 3P verses?
Slept on P verse. One that really sticks out to me was a verse that was on his I think it was a mixtape called Product of the 80s. Called Am I Crazy? And it was a song where he was acting like he was like in a dream or something. But the verses that he was spitting was real deep. The song was real dark. But if I could just read off the 3rd verse, because he was, you know how he was famous for talking about Illuminati and stuff, so things like that. But it goes like this. It goes, and then it happened at 3:33. A big fire in the sky in Queens. I almost crashed my car on the LIE. Godfather and Ty Mac was both asleep. It wasn't meant for them to see. It was a sign for me to let me know I'm not bugging. This shit is real. If you do the research, you will see that it's real. Then he goes in to say, my nigga E-Money Bags, R.I.P. He told me back in 99 this was gonna be. We both tried to tell Nas, but Nas was doing him. His little brother Jungle was the only one that listened. And he says, Jay-Z and Jazzo know, but Jay-Z chose to ride with the other side though. The math add all up, you could check it out. I told you, me and Pop would have worked it all out. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, he's talking about a lot of shit, man, in that verse. And like, y'all can go back, search that joint. It's a joint called Am I Crazy on Product of the 80s. But like, he's talking some real deep shit in there, man. And only the characters involved know what he's talking about.
It's crazy you say that too, because
that was one of my
about that shit.
I don't really have 3, but that was my main verse that I was like, I don't know if Cats is aware.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I seen somewhere where he said that one of Pac's people gave him one of Pac's books and shit. It was poetry and rhymes or whatever. After Pac passed shit. And he was like, yo, P, you need to understand, y'all niggas should have been collaborating. Y'all could have been out here in the streets like making changes and shit to the shit.
Right.
Because P knew, man. P, like you said, killed it. He was the first. I mean, personally, I was aware of like the whole Illuminati and all that type of shit from some books and cats I was running with. But P was definitely the first hip hop nigga to like really talk about that other side of the reality and shit, of like the black hand or whatever you want to call it, these false forces behind things or whatever. Yeah. He was always into that shit. And as he got older, I mean, he was on like that show InfoWars with that wild dude, what's his name, Alex Jones, I think it is, whatever. He's been talking down with Trump now, whatever. But he's always talked about, he talked about seeing UFOs and shit. Being on a plane, in the book he talked about being on a plane, and the plane, he thought it was going to crash, and everybody's wigging out going crazy. He said he was just chilling because he's like, he had gotten a sign that like, nah, this ain't my time. So he just sat back and just let it happen. Another time sitting in the projects and niggas roll up busting guns. And like he just got stuck and sat there and niggas started busting and nothing happened to him. So it's like he was always on some, next type of shit. And he, from time to time, he would tell you shit. He would tell you shit like that. Like, I forgot completely about that verse and shit. I got a couple of joints off of that album and shit. But that don't surprise me, man, because P was a deep man.
Yeah.
Low.
Yeah, no doubt. Yo, Rap, what you got for your slept on P joints?
So slept on P joints, man. Return to the Mac, off the Return to the Mac album. Up North Trip. I don't think that gets is just due. And then Trife Life, man. Trife Life is a whole story about how these cats dodge getting set up in Marcy projects, man. And it's vivid. It's probably for me, it's one of the most vivid joints on the album, man. But nobody talks about it. So for me, it's slept on. That's what I got.
No doubt. Now for me, I got one of my favorite joints, man, to this day, of P is this joint called Street Life. It was off the America is Dying Slowly soundtrack. You know what I mean? Back in the day, it was I think it was about 8.
About 8, right?
It had the Yarn with the Lost Boys and P Rock. It's actually a very dope soundtrack, a real dope soundtrack. But the way that P set this off was MOBD, DE, ACD, Burn Something, Let's Get Lifty, Queens, Is You With Me, Niggas Shifty, and Turn Around and Kid Tried to Hit Me. I backed him down with the 50-50. It had to been a thug in me. The tunnel banger come and get me. The first 500 bitches free. Like, yo, how do you even Beaver was saying, like, how do you piece those things together? Like, yo, the tunnel banger come and get me. And then I'm the first 500 of them free. Like the way he does it is stupid to me. And then my last one that a lot of people don't talk about is Animal Instinct. Off Hell on Earth. Off Murder. Nah, that's Hell on Earth.
Yeah, that's Hell on Earth. You're right.
Mob Crime, Money Hungry Crime, Mob Shiesty, Godfather 3 and Gotti, Rapinoid, Ty Max and Ty Nitty, Scarface and Gambino, New York City, It's the P. Live and Direct, Stab Your Neck. Ice Pick bodied up your whole entire shit, live shit. The 196 action. I mean, come on, man. My faceless. Yo, this dude is just like everybody said tonight. It's too many verses, too many P verses. But tell me this before we get into where P fits in on your list. And maybe I should have set the show off with this, but how did you get the news of Pete's passing? And what was your first? I mean, of course, it's damn, not Pete, but what's your where were you at when you got the news? And then what would you say is your fondest memory of P? Nick, we start with you.
Well, I saw it on IG because I follow Nas. And I was like, what? The hell is this? How? So I didn't believe it at first, and then of course the news eventually came out. But fondest memory of P. It's probably when he got out of jail talking about that book, when he was at the Breakfast Club breaking the book down, just talking about. I mean, he was like the stories he was telling. He was just Terminator. This shit was hella entertaining.
All right, no doubt. What about you, babe? Where's you at, and what's your finding?
I mean, being down south, y'all probably only met him in person.
All right, B, what about you?
I mean, it's crazy, man, because that was the day for my daughter's birthday on Tuesday, on Wednesday, her birthday, and my pops and my stepmoms was here, and I'm sitting on the sofa with my pops, and my daughter's in my lap, and we're just talking, whatever. My phone started going off like crazy, and my man's that had me linked up with these Queensbridge niggas was they're texting me like, yo, nigga P is dead, and I'm like, what? I'm texting about, I'm having a deep conversation with my pops about politics and life and the religion, all what's going on in the world right now. And I'm at the same time, I'm on my phone texting like crazy and shit, like, what's going on? And my daughter tried to take my phone, like, Daddy, stop with the phone, you talking to Pop. I'm like, ho, this is serious. So it's like, I put my daughter down. I put my daughter down. I went over to my laptop, and my father was still talking. I'm, going online like, nah, this can't be real, man. So my pops, when I got back up, he seen a look on my face like, what's the matter? I was like, it's not gonna make no sense to you, Dad, but I told him, I said, yo, it's like when Marvin Gaye died. You remember when Marvin Gaye died and you heard the news? He's like, yeah. He's like, wow, Marvin Gaye died again. Like, I was like, for me, my hip hop Marvin Gaye died just now, man. I just found out. He was like, wow, who is it? I'm like, this group Mobb Deep, you know what I mean? From this dude Prodigy, Mobb Deep. He's like, hey, Prodigy's like, yeah, man. You've been Havoc. He was like, Havoc? Like, yeah. Havoc, Prodigy, Mobb Deep, man. He's like, wow, you must really like him. Like, he's my favorite rapper, man. Him and Rakim is like, right there. That's my two favorite MCs ever. So he was like, yeah, you look like your little brother. I'm like, yeah, man. It's like, dude, and when you start hearing what happened and all that, my man's, when he texted me, I was like, yo, he said, you know, it was in Vegas, they had performed, he got sick, he went to the hospital. And I told my man, I said, yo, I guarantee you, half thought it was nothing. Because when all these years they've been performing, that shit has happened mad times where Pete has an episode, he got to go to the hospital, he's in there for a few days, and then he gets out. And sure enough, there's a video, I think it was on TNT or some shit, where Have said that.
Yeah.
Like, he was going to his son's graduation from elementary school or whatever, kindergarten or some shit. And he heard people saying like he's dead, like, man, whatever. You know that's that bullshit, celebrity dying, rumors, nonsense. They called his manager, like, nah, Pete. He been calling him, yeah, Pete's getting better. He's up, he's walking around. Yeah, he's good. He should be out next day. When we heard that he was dead, he actually called his manager again. He's like, yo, manager was crying, bawling like crazy. He was saying, he was bugging, like, yo, I'm on a highway with my son, my 5-year-old in the back seat. I can't even pull over to deal with this shit. So it's like, yo, my hip hop heart stopped for a second. It's the best way I could describe it. Yeah. The clock on hip hop just stuck for a minute for me because of the space I was in with my daughter, my pops. Because you know, the first thing I want to do is run over bounce, start turning the music up and blasting Mob and shit. But I couldn't do that. I had to wait until like that night, and I just sat there with my headphones on. Just like, damn, son. I mean, you know, he had issues and this and that, but I don't know if any of y'all have a chance to hear his last album. He released some shit earlier this year. I don't know how you say this shit. Heligen.
Yeah, it's got a weird name.
It's got a weird Heligen dialect. But he got a song on there called Mystic. And what Gnu was saying about that other song is kind of that same shit where P is talking some next level shit, man. That, you know, that he experienced in his life. And he's telling you how he's on some other shit or whatever, and that whole Illuminati, that type of shit, man. But I was just in a weird space, man. It really threw me off. But I didn't even know. I didn't have a chance to really process this shit. Like you said, Kill, man, I've been a huge Mobb Deep fan since day one, man. P's been my favorite. Like I say, my favorite MC, man. What about Kim?
What about you, Rack? What's like your fondest memory of P?
Man, fondest memory, I would say probably like high school, man. When the Infamous came out, I was a senior in high school. So, yo, when I say we played that joint to the tape popped, we played that album to the tape pop, man. So he kind of shaped and molded just our little 18-year-old mindset, you know, on the basketball court. You know, you felt as though you were sitting right there listening to it, man. I don't really have a memory of P in particular because I've never met him. But just, I know the impact he had on me and my teammates at the time, man. I don't know who could have walked in there and had a bigger impact. I mean, we listened to the coach, but that was about it. Other than that, it was the coach and Mobb Deep. It was just that simple. You know, you had cats walking around trying to speak the Dun language and didn't even know what they was talking about. You know, so he never gets the credit, or I'll say Mobb Deep, but P in particular, they don't get the credit for the way that they shaped people who didn't live in Queens or Queensbridge or didn't know what was going on. So it's a lot of memories you could have just based off the music, man. But I found out that he passed away from my wife, and I was sitting on the couch typing something, and my wife was like, hey, I think the guy from Mobb Deep passed away. And I'm like, I just looked at her, and you know, we do the 90-day music challenge. So when I went onto my Twitter feed, I saw one of the guys on the Twitter feed say the same thing. And then, you know, like Nick said, you know, you start digging through, and Bezo, you know, you start going online, and I saw it, and I was just like, damn, just killed my whole day, because it was just like, that's not what you want to hear. You don't want to hear that at all. So it just sucked the day out of me, man. It wasn't a productive day at all. I didn't do much that day, you know. But that's how I heard about it, and that's my memory. Like I said, I've never met him, but I know that infamous album. Cats was going back to the store because we had to buy more of the infamous album. Like we just passed that tape around, man. It's just crazy, man.
All right. And for me, it was the same thing. I was online, and my man Vince hit me up like, "Yo, P died, man." And you know, then I'm like, whatever, you know. And then, like Beaver said, yo, my phone started blowing up with mad New York numbers. And the last time that happened is when Fife died. You know what I mean? That's what kind of made it official to me before the TMZ, before, you know, everything got officialized. It was just the fact that anytime my phone starts blowing up with New York numbers, it ain't never a good thing. You know, it's never a promising thing. And that's what kind of how I found out. And I think just my fondest memory of Mob and P was just, like Beazle said, being at 88.9. When their 12 inches would come in the mail, like it was like a Royal Rumble up there between things first. Because I think one of the things that Mob don't get a lot of credit for, that a lot of people give Outkast credit for, is that their first album was produced by some of the biggest names in hip hop. You know, Primo was doing stuff for their first album. You know, Large Professor was doing stuff for their first album. But for their second album, you know, Hab basically took the reins and kind of ran with it. You know, Tip did, I think, 3 or 4. But basically, you know, these dudes went from not producing anything to being able to produce a masterpiece like The Infamous, which is not an easy feat. You know what I mean? Like, there are producers who were producing before them that, you know, I don't know if they could produce a masterpiece like The Infamous. And then when you go on to Hell on Earth, and Nick made a good point a while ago that that's like, for him, Havoc's best work, because that's all Havoc. You know what I mean? Like, and I never looked at it before, but that's so true that the Hell on Earth album was just all Havoc. You know, I think at first I didn't like it because, I didn't like it like it was whack, but just it didn't have the same vibe as The Infamous. But once they kind of breaking it down, like, well, nah, that's, you know, Havoc is just darker than those Q-tip type beats and everything like that, you know, so. It's just being at the radio station. I can't tell you how many times we was playing The Infamous. And for people who don't know radio back in the 90s, you know, at least on my station, we had to have an edited version. So I know The Infamous almost like in the back of my head where every curse word is, because I had to edit it live because we ain't have no edited version. So
wow.
For us to play it, we had to literally sit there and take out the curse words, you know, just mute the monitors going out. So, you know, but it was worth it. You know, it was a lot of work, but it was worth it because, you know, it was Mobb Deep. Now let's end with this, y'all. Top 25 list. I know Beasley said he was the second favorite rapper. We all know favorite don't equal the best or whatever, but tell me this. Does P make your top 25 list? And if so, where is he in there? Where is he at? Beasley, you're shaking your head like it's nothing, so.
I mean, yeah, it's not even. To consider whether or not he's in my top 25 that's no question. I mean, that's too high a number. You know what I mean? If you narrow it down to top 10 all time for me, because again, you know, leading up to this, I was watching a bunch of shit on Mob and P or whatever, and there's an interview P did where he was talking about the whole Jay-Z Nas beef that he had, explaining how the origins of it. And the interviewer asked him a pretty good question at one point after he finished breaking both of them down. With P, he's like, do you think it meant something that you got under Jay and Nas' skins enough that they both had to talk about you? He was like, yeah. He's like, if I wasn't no threat to them, they would have never said nothing about me. They would just kept it moving. Because what Gnu was saying, that whole verse where he was talking about E-Money Bags and Jungle or whatever, saying shit, he talked about, he went to Nas, was like, yo, we need to get at this nigga Jay, man, because he's throwing shots. And Nas was like, nah, let it go. So he was like, when the Nas beef came up, he saw what it was. It was like Nas feeling like, hold up, Jay supposed to come at me, not this nigga. You know what I mean? So he felt like he had to also push P aside because P was saying how he knew niggas from Queensbridge was telling Nas like, yo, P is nicer than you, son. P is better than you now. So there was a time when, yo, P was in my top 3 easily. That's when Biggie was alive, Nas was alive, and Jay was doing this thing. Not that Nas is dead, but The whole shit I talked about earlier, I don't know about nowadays. I had P in my top 3 nicest MCs of all time, right there with Kane, Rakim, and G-Rap or whatever. So I put him easily in my top 10. I don't want to narrow it down to a single, single spot, but he's in my top 10. I mean, his track record of all the cats that I love, the 2 cats to me that was best at the work and Peep. You know what I mean? With how vivid they can make shit. Jay is nice too in his heyday. Rakim was just nice because it's Rakim and Kane too. But there's just something different that P got that none of those other niggas have, man, with the way he would flip term or whatever and say it a whole different way. Like I said, instead of saying losing your life, get your life lost. That's just a microcosm of the way that P would flip words, man. So he's definitely my top 25, there's no question. It's not even close, but he's in my top 10 easily. But it's too hard to put him a straight number, man.
Right. Now I feel you. What about you, Rap?
Yeah, I'm with Beto. I'm not gonna give him a straight number, but he is definitely in my top 25, man. That's without question. We gave our criteria for top 10, top 5, top 25. He meets all of that, man. Longevity, albums, influence. I think he is probably the most quoted lyricist when it comes to hooks and scratches. As a DJ, when we look for stuff to scratch on that tough guy shit, you're going straight to Mobb Deep. Period. That's the first place you're going, is to go find some Mobb Deep acapellas. If you're not, then I don't know what you're looking for, but you can listen to anything Primo, any type of boom bap, hip hop. Period. The dude's influence is serious. So he's in my top 25, man, for sure.
All right. What about you, Nick? Nick, what's up?
We def top 15 easily for me, just for talking the infamous Hell on Earth, Murder Music, IC album. That's 4 albums of material. A lot of cats ain't got that, of like quality, good to classic shit. He top 15 easily for me. I think people knock him due to how popular Jay-Z is and that whole Summer Jam shit. They let that kind of cloud their judgment of what Prodigy brought. But you can't deny the if you listen to the music, you put all that theatrical shit to the side, you can't front on the music he put out.
Yeah. Nah, and I'm with y'all. I'm with Bezo. I can't give him a number, but he's definitely in my range of top 11 to 15. He's somewhere right in there, right in the cut, right in there. Real quick, what would you say is your favorite album for P? Is it the infamous? Is it Hell on Earth? Is it Murder Music? Is it H&IC? Albert Einstein? Return of the Mac? He's got so many. So Rec, what would you say is your favorite P album?
For me, it's a tie between Return of the Mac and HNIC, the first one. Only because I got to hear him with Alchemist. I like how he sounds with Alchemist. It's a little fresher. I love the dark shit, but Alchemist can kind of walk that line. He can kind of give him a little bit of everything. Not saying Havoc can't, but those albums to me, I think where he caught him, you figure HNIC, he just came off a 4-album run of Mobb Deep. HNIC probably was at the top of his game at that time, man. Like Bezo said, top 3. I gotta agree with Bezo. Top 3 at that time. And Return to the Mac, that was right before he went in, right?
Yeah.
So he was hungry. I read something on Twitter, man. Fonte had did an interview or a review and basically clowned one of the albums and said that those guys got rich and got lazy. Long story short, Prodigy saw the interview, and a couple years later, he did another interview with Fonte, and Fonte confronted him about it. And he was like, "You know what? You were right. We got rich and lazy." So I think after seeing that from peers, he got hungry, and it showed. Man, that was a good album. Return of the Mac, that was a good album. Those are my 2.
All right, no doubt. What about you, Bezo?
I mean, it's probably Hell on Earth, man, because I think Nick said it, where it's like like I said, I was on to the cat after Shook One's Part 2, and then that whole album, the way he started Survival of the Fittest, that was like one of the best ways to start an album in terms of getting you ready for what their sound was going to be for the remainder of their career. The way he started that very song, you know what I mean? It literally gave you a window into this is what we're going to be about for the next 5-6 albums. But like you said, Kill, because he had production from Q-Tip on there, you know, they had all these extra shit with the joint with Nas, the joint with Ghost and Ray, whatever. You could tell they was like, they did their own shit. That's talking about they decided to do. But if you remember, Kill, I told you a story about how Roots had the first demo of the Infamous album. And it didn't survive the trip from Baltimore to DC, which is a 35-40 minute drive.
Dang.
That shit was up on the side of the road. Niggas literally
chucked it out the window.
No exaggeration. But it was because the production was just like, what the fuck is this, man? So the story goes allegedly that Q-Tip would already, you know, was aware of these cats and looked out for him. Q-Tip took Have and showed him some things or whatever, put them on to some different ways and help Have find that sound, that dark sound. Like, yo, this is what you got to capture, y'all story, y'all Queensbridge shit. But anybody ever been to Queensbridge, you know, like Nick said, it's like people get caught up in the other shit, the drama stuff, and it takes away from his impact on the game. But if you ever been to Queensbridge, it's some wild shit. I got my man from South Jamaica got shot out there. You know what I mean? My sister used to work on 40th and Vernon. She was a social worker out there, and I used to go out there and check her. And I said, yo, shit was wild, man. Queensbridge is wild. Where Hell on Earth, that to me, it was a coming together of both coalescing of his sound and P's rhymes. Have now was stepped on his own, like he got it. I understand how to do this shit. I know my niche, I know my style, and I'm sticking to this shit to the end of this, till the wheels fall off. And I think because they was boys since they was teenagers, when Have found his shit, it's like P was right there with him. And Have even stepped up his lyrics by the end of it.
Oh yeah. He
became a much nicer, and he wasn't never whack. He wasn't like like Lil Dap and what's his name?
The Nutcracker.
But Have definitely, I think P's ascension helped Have get better with his lyrics.
Right.
So on Hell on Earth, man, and that's where there's so many quotables off that shit. So then when they went into Murder Music, it was just like, you know, on coast. You know what I mean? It was like, you know, cruise control and shit. I think that did hurt them later on, but I think it really, Hell on Earth, man, you listen to that album front to back, P is so crazy with it, man. So many quotables, so vivid. That to me was like his epitome of P, man.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. What about you, Nick?
You already right there, Hell on Earth. Like, just easily said, Animal Instinct, drop a gem on them, G.O.D. Part 3 to get down
man.
Got my crew ready for hand-to-hand combos. Like, the Hell on Earth, the title cut, Still Shining, Apostles Warning, the closing track. That, like you said, like they both just hit that peak at the same time. It was like the perfect marriage. Havoc on the beats, Prodigy with the lyrics. It was to me that's Peep. Like it was Prodigy's best material. Hell on Earth.
Right. I mean, I'm right along with y'all. Like I said, since Nick kind of schooled me on that joint, same thing as Hell on Earth, man. You know, for years I always liked the Infamous. I won't hold you. I like the Infamous better. You know, I think just because of, you know, where I was at that time. But when you talking about, like you said, Bezo having knowing his lane, P knowing his lane, and everything coming together at the same time, that's it right there. So if somebody was like, yo, point me in the direction of the best P album, I gotta give him Hell on Earth, you know. And like you said, it's just too many joints because there were so many of those singles were coming during those Pac battles, you know, before Hell on Earth even dropped. You know, you had to Still Shine and you had to Drop a Gem, you had to coming at you before the album even dropped, you know. So by the time you heard Godfather Part 3, you know, it was just like, you know. And then the crazy thing about that is Godfather Part 3 is so bonkers, and it uses the little feet break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a million times, like, yo, how y'all got the Bermuda Apple Bump drums in there?
That shit blew my brains, man.
You know what I mean? So, You know, definitely salute to one of the dopest MCs to ever walk the planet, nigga Prodigy. Right, give them all your stuff, bro, where they can get at you with some of the mixtape.
One quick thing, one quick story, man. The first time I heard G.O.D. was at Homecoming, man. Clue played that shit. I had never heard it, and I lost my mind, man. I didn't know what it was. I love that song. But so info, man. IG is at Worldwide Rec 1. Twitter is at DJ Rec 1.
All right, B, give them all your stuff, fam.
Yeah, Twitter is at Real Life Thought, and I'll give my Instagram. It's private, so you know if I don't let you in immediately, you know, patience. But it's intelligent_life. But I do have one question I want to ask y'all, because I was faced with this dilemma after Peep passed, man, with an older head, because they had heard about this shit, you know what I mean? And how do y'all reconcile? I don't know how many of y'all are parents. I know, Kill, obviously, you got your daughter.
I got 2 kids.
Okay, but how do you reconcile the violence in his lyrics? Because, I mean, I can't, because I had conversation with an older head about it, and you know, he kind of afterwards was like, okay, I see what you're coming from. That, yeah, he agreed with me. He can see what I was saying. But how do you reconcile this, how violent and graphic the lyrics and everything Mobb Deep was about, with the artistic side of it? Because there are people who, some of it's usually like hip hop heads, older heads, or even some chicks who got a little bit older and got into R&B and started messing with hip hop, but just found it to be too violent. You know, so it's too much, too this, too that. But how do you reconcile if you was faced with somebody asking you, well, hold up, as a parent, how do you see that? How could you play that for your child? Like, how do you reconcile that shit? I know I'm curious how other cats, if you had to deal with that same conversation with somebody, like why he was still dope, even though it was so violent, but that really had nothing to do with him not being dope.
I mean, for me personally, I mean, and you know, we've had podcasts. I think it'd be one of the first ones we did with the Writers Bench was about this. You know what I mean? And again, just, you know, once I had Naomi, my only beef with Pete was really just like at 43, I just didn't want to hear that. You know what I mean? Like, that was my soundtrack when I was at Morgan, when I was 19, 20. You know what I mean? So I hadn't heard a lot of the Pete stuff, like the latter stuff, just because I just felt like, for me, it was just too much. You know what I mean? Like, I know some people, we did a podcast, we was talking about Niggas for Life. I forgot who it was, but it was like, yo, I loved that album when I was 15. Like, now I can't even listen to it. It's just too much. You know what I mean? But I guess for me, I mean, I would never let Nate really hear that. When I do my hip hop lessons with her, you know, I'm trying to stay away from all of that. You know, as she gets older, you know, I would probably let her hear some P, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But I mean, that's just it for me. I mean, it's, you know, it's almost like building with an old head. It's almost just like with NWA. It's like cats is just giving you one side of the spectrum. You know what I mean? And I think that that's the problem. Like, that's, to me, what hip hop used to be. Hip hop used to be like a cable network where if I wanted some rah-rah, I could go to NWA, but then I could go to Kid and Play, you know, and then I could come over here to Daylight, move over here to Outkast, you know, everything like that. So I just looked at it like it's just like watching the news. Like, you want to watch some people go see. I don't think nobody goes see Fast and Furious for the for the acting. You know, you're going for blowing up and all of that. So it's like, you know, when we was at Morgan, you about to go to a party, you trying to get hype, you know, you want to hear that. That's your soundtrack. You know, you and your team about to rumble with somebody, you ain't gonna play no Tribe Called Quest. You ain't playing you know, so to me that's how I would feel. But Rec, what you got on that, bro?
I'll probably compare it to like you said, the movies a bit, man, because there's artistic beauty in everything, man. You look at Scarface, that's a beautiful piece of cinematography. It's violent as hell, but it's a great movie, and you got to find that artistic niche in it. I mean, yeah, he's a violent lyricist, but you got to think about how he was coming up, his surroundings at the time, man. That's what he wrote about. It's just one of those things. You got to kind of make sure that they know that this is a variety. My kids, I don't let them listen to it. You know, if I get in the truck and I was blasting something crazy, I'll turn the radio on. You know, I won't let them play it. But like you said, Kel, as they get older, they're gonna go and find, you know, kind of their own little way, their own little niche. But I think if you as a parent or we as parents do what we're supposed to do, what they listen to, is not going to necessarily play a part in how they act. It's just a form of expression. We sitting here, we grown men with children, and we've probably heard some of the craziest music in the world, but we're all respectable men within, you know, our households and our communities. So I don't think that has anything to do with how somebody turns out. You know what I mean? It's just you got to know. It's almost like Christmas. You know, ain't no Santa Claus, but sometimes you got to play that part, and you just got to know what's real, what's fake. And that's really where I stand on it.
Yeah, another piece I'll say too is that, you know, like I said, as Naomi grows up, I give her more. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost just like when you first have your kid, you feed them a formula, and then as they grow, you can give them, you know, more food.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
everybody knows I work in the hood, and you know, I definitely take Nay out there with me. You know, I want her to see different parts of the world. I don't want her to be the suburb kid who has no idea, you know, what goes on in the hood. And you know, I'm teaching her how to watch her back. We was in New York when I was dealing with my mother-in-law, and you know, teaching her how to ride the trains. And
I seen that. That's what's up.
On the train, you know. So I just think, you know, you got some cats who want to keep their kids in the bubble and act like the world is this beautiful place. And I mean, that's cool. That's how they choose to parent. I'm on the other side of the spectrum where I want her to see, you know, the hood. I want her to see, you know, I want her to see sometimes how good she has it. You know what I mean? Because the way I grew up, all my peoples, we all had the same thing. You know, I went to your crib looked like my crib. You know, now with my daughter in these suburbs, you know, you go into these big mansions that her friends got. You know, so sometimes she's like, yo, why our house ain't as big? I'm like, okay, well, let me take you out to the hood and show you how some people live in, so you can really enjoy and understand how we live right now. We ain't living like them, but we gotta be thoughtful and be happy with what we got, what we've been blessed with. You know what I mean? So that's me. Nick, are you still there, bro?
Yeah, I'm listening.
All right. What you got with your daughter? Your page is frozen, so it's just a black screen, but we still got your audio. So
okay.
What you
like with me with two girls, I don't play. I've always been on the stance that I don't see how women enjoy hip hop. Just to be honest, the most of it. I mean, you got your tribe and your daylight, but for most of the hip hop, we ain't been too kind to the women, so I don't play that for my daughters. You know, if they, you know, because my oldest is 18, so of course she knows. We talk about it, but my baby is 13, so until she come to me with it, I'm not talking about it. I'm not introducing that to her. But as far as like Mobb Deep, I think it was violent, but it was more reality based. Like NWA got to a point where it was cartoonish. Mobb Deep never got to, Mobb Deep never went there with it. It was shit that happened. I didn't have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying?
All right. No doubt. Nick, give them all your stuff real quick, bro.
Twitter, only one way to win. That's only the number one way. The number two last name WYNN 79.
All right, you already know what it is with me. Kill 889. We'll make beats for food. Real quick question. It's a yes or no answer, because we're gonna have to talk about this next week. Are you excited? Let me not say the word excited. Are you anticipating good things from this new Jay-Z album produced by No ID? DJ Rack, what you got on?
Yes.
Okay. Bezo, what about you?
Hell no. It's the same old shit, man. You're gonna get it. It's gonna be some. It's like he had a song with the DOA shit. That's the auto-tune. And then 2 songs later, he got auto-tune. Come on, man. I'm not being fooled by Jay-Z and his mystery God shit no more.
See, I ain't heard all that. I didn't hear anything.
I hear you. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, I'm with Bezo. Like, not really. He actually, like, Jay, he like a politician, because he made a post talking about he want people to start making like more political records. I'm like, nigga, Chance the Rapper, Kendrick been doing that shit.
Yeah, why don't you do it?
Wave late.
Come on, man.
Old ass.
Can't with Jay no more, man. He like this dude that I just don't relate to no more, man. It's like, okay, I know you got money and you fucking Beyonce every other night. Okay, is there anything else you can talk about? Please, something. Come on, baby.
Right. You might not be able to.
We gonna find out. I can't hold you. At first, I was like, "Who cares?" Then somebody hit me like, "No ID, executive producing the album." I'm like, "Y'all niggas do know executive producing."
Yeah, what's up with that?
That just means nothing.
And then I got word that he's actually producing it. And I was talking to my man today, and he was like, yo, I think y'all gonna be highly surprised by this J album. I'm like, yo, did you hear it? Like,
he holding out on you.
You know, this whole No ID Death of Auto-Tune, you know, Success No ID from American Gangsta, that's 4 or 5 years ago. Like, you know.
That was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's 10 years, 2007.
No ID. When's the last time he did a whole album that was a classic?
The Common Joint.
I wasn't feeling that Black America joint.
No, I was talking about the joint with communism on it. Resurrection.
Right, but he said classic album. When's the last time he did a classic album? No ID. A whole album.
No, you're right. But I can't say I'm intrigued just to find out with No ID doing all the beats. Because the last thing I heard was he was doing an album with one of the Metro Boomin producers out of it.
Yeah, I heard that too.
You know, whatever. So I'm intrigued. It's almost like going on. What's that show on ESPN with Reality and them? It's like I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I'm excited. I'm not tearing down.
Your interests are peaked.
Yeah, my interests are peaked because No ID was one of my favorite producers.
Same here.
Anybody could give Jay. Forget it. I'm not even gonna say because we always want him to go back, and he already told us buy his old
shit.
Yeah. You know,
that's what I'm gonna do too.
That's what he said.
Yeah. He was like, niggas want my old shit, buy my old album. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like he's already told us he ain't making it for us no more. So
somebody tweeted that out too. It's like, yo, he ain't making albums for the boom bap niggas no more.
No, he not.
Yeah, but I'm with Beep. I'm not falling for Banana in the Tailpipe because Jay always gets you.
That's it, man.
You know, the DOA single and then the rest of the album be whack, or you know, commercial with Rick Rubin and everybody, and I'm like, that they was producing, like we all was like, oh, he's doing the album with Rick Rubin and everybody, and then Rick Rubin a week later, like, nah, I ain't do the album. Jay just wanted me to come
they acted in the commercial. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. So I called that nigga Satan. He like, did the guy tell you couldn't eat from that tree? No, he did. And he said, don't. You know, that's safe. Jay's safe. But I'm intrigued.
So did you just call Jay-Z Satan?
Yes.
He gonna trick you into buying that. He gonna trick you into buying. He gonna trick you into getting to title.
He done already.
Was
Sprint. So if you got Sprint, you got it.
Yeah, you know,
I got it.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's only available on title or some shit too.
Yeah, I think it's only available on title.
Yeah, you know he do them.
You know what that is? Like, the title's not doing too well. So he like, okay, let me do an album. You better do that with Beyonce or somebody. You want to say a title. I don't think Jay had as many people in love with his shit, like anticipating. Like,
no, not at all.
I don't know, man. There's some Jay stands that's out there, man. They deep in these streets, man. You know,
I mean, his shit is worldwide. I'll give him that, but I'm sorry, man. With hip hop, you still need to have a connection. That umbilical cord to the streets can't be severed, man. You still got to have it because if the hood just does not fuck with you at all, you will go down. That's what happened to Nas's career. You know what I mean? People just, the streets literally stopped messing with him, and he had the commercial success story, you know, songs or whatever. But it was like hollow because there was nothing that connected it back to the hood and shit, man. It wasn't until he came back with.
But you know the thing is with Jay, I see a lot of dudes who they just want to be Jay. They don't even care about the music. They just see Jay's bank account. They see Jay with Beyonce. They see Jay. I always tell people if Jay and Dame switched places and Jay was broke and back in Marcy, and nobody would even be rocking with Jay like that. But it's people love Jay because of what he represents. He represents wealth. And I think that's what a lot of dudes, it's not even, like you said, with hip hop, it's no longer a connection to the street. But for a lot of dudes, they won't admit it, but their love fest with Jay is just the wealth. And it's like, they just look up to Jay-Z. They're looking at what's the next champagne we buying? What's the next what's the next car we pushing? Like, they're looking to Jay like that. But trust me, all these dudes who love Jay to death, best believe if he lost everything and was back in Marcy chilling with Memphis Bleak, none of these Jay dudes would even be talking about Jay.
Right. That's where you'll find Bleak nowadays. That right. But it's funny you say that because I was just talking about that shit with my wife, and that's exactly what my wife said. She was like, I said, you look at Big. Big was like funny and humble. He was self-deprecating at times, going from ashy to classy, calling himself ugly and this and that. know what I mean? And P, like you said, P was really violent, but he would have shit that it was so vivid you could connect to it. But with Jay, like, he didn't glorify the drug sales. He glorified the results of the shit. I got all this money, I got all these riches, and I got this beautiful wife that y'all love. All the chicks love her, right? Everybody loves Beyonce. Look, this is my wife. This is who I'm knocking down every night. So it's like people fall in love with, you know, that's what all these TV shows, these reality TV shows is about. You know, people want to live that life. They caught up in a dream, or you know, this fantasy world of living and having these riches. And Jay-Z's like, for hip hop, he's the epitome of that shit. Right. I mean, he's the soldier. He's the headpiece on that shit. Like, yeah, look, see, like Jay-Z, be like Jay-Z, be like Jay-Z.
You're 100% right. All right, well, we'll see. It's dropping Friday. You know, we have to do a show chopping it up about it. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. It
might not be a 5-minute long show. You like it? Nope. Nope. All right.
That's why I said maybe, maybe not. So, but yo, I'll check y'all next week, man.
All right, fellas.